Enterprise Management 360.
Hello and welcome to this week's Tech Chat. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really looking forward to be speaking with Marc Wilczek and Karsten Desler from Link11, who are the COO and CTO respectively. Today they're going to be walking us through their recent research into DDoS and how to mitigate the risks that are associated with it. So Link11 have just concluded their DDoS research for Q2 2019. Can you tell us a little bit more about the findings and what this means for the landscape of DDoS today?
Sure. So first of all, what we've seen is a tremendous increase in the size of attacks, but also in the frequency. Compared to last year, the average size of DDoS attacks has basically doubled within a year. And what it means for organizations is that, the risk is getting more severe, and every single company that has an online presence in one shape or another needs to make sure they're protected against that, DDoS threat.
Okay, fantastic. But these DDoS attacks, they are getting more and more complex, particularly given these multi-vector attacks. So what can you tell us about these, and why are they on the rise?
Sure. So there are a couple of things that need to be taken into account. First and foremost, the IoT, keeps expanding very heavily, and many of these IoT devices are simply not, protected. They can be abused as malicious demons in order to produce large-scale DDoS attacks. That's one of the phenomenals. On the other hand, there is the emergence of the dark web, with plenty of illicit and illegal services that are, available for hire, which makes it extremely easy for people to consume illegal services, including DDoS attacks. And what we've also seen is a fundamental shift that there is a strong correlation between DDoS attacks and even data breaches because they're so simple to procure. They're very often used in a multi-vector attack as a means of distraction. And what people assume might be a DDoS attack is very often part of something fundamentally larger. And actually data is being stolen and people are infiltrating corporate networks.
One very critical aspect of multi-vector attacks is that in one case they are targeting the network infrastructure, but on the other side they are also targeting APIs. APIs meaning communication between apps and between the databases on the back end. And this certainly is one aspect that nowadays is mission critical for almost any service active on the internet. And so it needs to be protected as a kind of integrated solution where both aspects are being looked at.
So something that's quite frightening to know is that organizations can be hit by a DDoS attack at any time. So what do they need to be doing to mitigate these risks?
Yeah, for sure. Companies need to look at DDoS defense, and first and foremost, they need to protect their own infrastructure and the old data center. The second part of this is hybrid models, where the cloud is somehow involved, but not quite the core aspect, need to be protected as well. And the third aspect is the cloud itself needs to be secured. So the infrastructure against DDoS has to be flexible and it has to be scalable, so that it works for absolutely all deployment models.
Thanks, Karsten. I think over and beyond the cloud aspect and the flexibility, one of the limiting factors is human error. And we've seen it time and time again. If there is a DDoS attack, it just takes forever organizations to figure out that they're under attack and to reroute their IP traffic. Because of that, we strongly advocate for strong levels of automation and machine learning and AI in order to take human error out of the equation and to be incredibly fast. Because across so many different use cases, we see real time becoming a key requirement from a business standpoint. So time is absolutely of the essence. And in order to address that, automation, machine learning, and AI is absolutely key.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Tech Chat, and thank you once again to Marc and Karsten for their insightful discussion. If you're interested in generating leads for your business, then head on over to our Tell Us Your Audience page, where we can distribute your content across North America, APAC, and Europe, delivering SQLs and MQLs right back to you. In the meantime, make sure you're following us on Twitter and LinkedIn, and head on over to our website, em360tech.com, for more great content.